America, a land stitched together by asphalt veins stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific. A nation that never sleeps, never slows, never stops moving. But behind every mile of freight delivered, every supermarket shelf filled, every factory kept alive, stands a driver. One man, one story, one journey across the vast backbone of the United States. Trucking Across America. Real Driver's Story isn't just a documentary. It's a raw, unfiltered look into the heartbeat of American trucking. It's the story of grit, loneliness, pride, danger, and unstoppable determination. Today, we dive deep into the life, the road, the storms, the victories, into a profession that keeps the country alive. Meet Jack Reynolds, a 43-year-old long-haul trucker from Missouri, a man whose life is permanently bound to the road. Jack wasn't born into wealth. He wasn't born into comfort, but he was born into responsibility. Growing up on a farm, Jack learned early what hard work meant. At 13, he was already fixing engines with his father. At 16, he drove tractors across endless fields under the burning Midwestern sun. The road called to him young. The idea of endless horizons, freedom, and a life without walls. At 19, he got his CDL. At 21, he was hauling his first cross-country load. Terrified, but ready. That first trip, he says, felt like the beginning of my real life. And it was. For most people, a home is 4 walls. For Jack, it's a Peterbilt 579, humming like a steel beast beneath him. A small bunk, a storage cabinet, a mini fridge, a coffee mug iconically rattling during every pothole. People think we live easy, Jack laughs. But this truck, this is my house, office, kitchen, bedroom, everything. Every long-haul driver knows the truth. The cab is both prison and freedom, a shelter, and a reminder of how far from home they are. Jack shows the camera family photos taped above his bunk. His wife Emily, his 2 kids, his dog Duke. Those photos keep me alive, he says quietly. The real beauty of trucking emerges when Jack pulls onto the open interstate. Traffic fades, cities disappear, mountains rise like ancient guardians over the land. The sun drops behind the plains. The hum of the engine blends with the rumble of rubber on asphalt. This is the America tourists never see. The America only truckers touch. Miles of farmland waving like oceans, rocky cliffs towering over desert highways, snow-dusted forests, empty gas stations glowing at 2 a.m. Jack says, "Every day the scenery changes. Every mile feels alive. That's why I love this job." But beauty isn't the whole truth. The road has teeth. Truckers face the kind of danger most people never think about. Jack has driven through white-out blizzards in Wyoming, hurricane rain in Louisiana, black ice in Nebraska, sandstorms in Arizona, searing 110-degree heat in Nevada. He remembers one night in particular. A winter storm, 0 visibility. The wind hitting the trailer like a giant hand trying to knock him over. "I couldn't see more than 5 feet, he admits. My hands were shaking. But stopping was even more dangerous. In those moments, survival relies on instinct, experience, and a little luck. Truckers are not just drivers. They're storm survivors. People romanticize trucking. They imagine freedom. They imagine adventure. But few understand the loneliness. Jack drives 10, 11, sometimes 14 hours straight. No conversation, no family, no home-cooked meal, just static-filled radio stations and the occasional call from home. He says, the hardest part isn't the miles, it's missing life. Missing birthdays, anniversaries, games, dinners. moments. Long-haul drivers sacrifice time, the most expensive currency in the world. At midnight, parked at a rest stop, Jack sits in the dark eating a microwave meal. There's no applause, no recognition, just another night. But he keeps going. For his family, for his pride, for the country that needs him. One of the most powerful parts of the documentary is the brotherhood among truckers. A silent respect, a bond forged in diesel and hardship. At truck stops, drivers share stories, breakdowns, crazy weather, difficult customers, but also advice, laughter, humanity. A driver with 30 years on the road tells Jack, "You're never alone out here. We might not know your name, but we know your life." That's trucking. A family without a surname. Every box, every pallet, every container tells a story. Jack hauls everything. Food, furniture, medicine, construction steel, electronics, farm equipment. He says, "You're carrying America's heartbeat. If we stop, everything stops." During one delivery, a warehouse manager tells him, "Man, if you didn't bring this load today, our entire production line would shut down." And in that moment, the weight of responsibility becomes clear. Truckers aren't just moving freight. They're moving the country. Breakdowns are a trucker's nightmare. Jack has experienced blown tires, injector leaks, overheating engines, electrical failures, each one a potential disaster. The documentary captures a moment when his truck breaks down outside Amarillo. He's 600 miles from home. It's 102 degrees Fahrenheit, and the nearest mechanic is 50 miles away. Most people panic. Jack doesn't. He works with tools like a soldier under fire. 2 hours later, the engine roars back to life. "That's trucking," he says. "You fix it, or you fail." This documentary's strongest visual element is how it captures America. Golden fields of Kansas, snowy peaks of Colorado, deep forests of Oregon, desert storms of Texas, sunlit oceans of California. Jack says, "You see the whole world from behind a windshield." It's breathtaking. It's emotional. It's what keeps drivers sane. Every sunrise feels like hope. Every sunset feels like victory. Every mile feels like purpose. After 2,700 miles, 4 days, multiple storms, 2 breakdown scares, and hundreds of lonely thoughts, Jack finally reaches his destination, a manufacturing plant in Sacramento. He steps out of the cab like a man finishing a marathon. The manager signs the paperwork. Jack smiles. The load is delivered. But the story doesn't end. Because, in trucking, when one load ends, another begins. At the end of the documentary, the camera zooms in on Jack as he says the words that define the soul of trucking. "We're the invisible backbone of this country. You may not see us, but you need us. Every day, every mile." With that, the engine growls again. Jack climbs back into the cab, and the American road, the endless, dangerous, beautiful road, calls him once more. Trucking across America. Real Driver's Story is more than a documentary. It is a tribute. A tribute to every man and woman who sacrifices sleep, comfort, family, and safety to keep the world running. This story is emotional, raw, and inspiring. The film shines because it doesn't glorify trucking. It tells the truth, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the brutal, and the deeply human. Jack's journey becomes the journey of every trucker. Every viewer walks away with a deeper respect for the industry that silently sustains America. This is not just a story. It's a salute to the real heroes of the highway. And this is just one story from the highway. If you want more real trucking adventures, more diesel-powered journeys, and more raw stories from America's open roads, then you're in the right place. This is Road Titans, where every mile tells a story. Every road tests your courage, and every driver becomes a legend. Subscribe now, hit the bell icon, and join the Titan family. Because the next journey is already starting. Road Titans, where legends roll.